Hello, Sam from Tool Hut. Think we got a good one for you today. Got a 2012 Ford Edge. Somebody has jump started it backwards. It is push button start. I have not pushed the button, so it's essentially off. We all know that the push button starts have some modules that wake up. Um, I just wanted to see how it was going to act if I left the key off, or the button off. It says the PCM is blank. I'm not real sure what that is. That's an error or what. It is straight from the salvage yard, so I'm sure the salvage yard didn't do nothing to it. So the part number of the module that was in it and the part number that went in it are different. So I'm going to use the part number off the original PCM. Now, only the last digit is wrong. I'm sure it's a calibration update. But I'm still putting in the part number of the PCM that came out. So I'm sure it's the right PCM. It's just the last digit, like I say, and I'm sure it's a calibration difference. So it's going to run a network test here, even though I haven't pushed the button. On these push button starts, quite a few of the modules are awake anyway. So let it run its network test here. It does come up with the VIN that I just typed in, so we know that it didn't pull a VIN from the other PCM, which is great. So that means it's going to write this VIN into the new PCM, no problem. So we're going to hit the toolbox at the top here. We're going to go to Module Programming, Programmable Module Installation, and PCM. It's going to verify the VIN again. One thing I noticed right away on some of these newer Fords is it doesn't really even program the PCM anymore. It's more of a configuration type thing. So you'll see it right here. It'll only configures the PCM. So switch the ignition off, put the new module in or replacement module in. We've already done that. Push the button on and it's going to configure it. So nothing like some of the older ones. Now it is going to program the TCM just like the old ones, and this is a TCM inside the PCM box, so it does do them separately. What I'm hoping is going to happen is this has got a diagnostic strategy and solenoid ID, and I'm hoping that it will pull that information over. I do have a bore scope down on top of the transmission, and I can see the label. I can't get a real good picture of it, but I got enough numbers that I can verify that it's the right one here. So I have sped up this part of the process. It doesn't program quite this fast. Haven't sped it up a lot, but I have sped it up, so you don't have to sit here and watch the blue line of death go across here. I guess it's only the blue line of death if it stops partway and doesn't start back up again. But sometimes it scares you. So it says calibration's been loaded and checked. There's our new part numbers. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get on to security and run the patch function. Let's get this thing started before we get too crazy trying to do other stuff to it. There is a few other things that need to be done to it. It doesn't really matter what order you do these in. They all need to be done. Again, with the security access, I've sped this up so we don't have to sit here for 10 minutes and watch this go across. It'll be a pretty boring video watching a 10-minute security access. tells me that I have been granted security access with the RFA, the PCM, and the BCM. Remember, the PCM is what we replaced, so we're looking for the parameter reset with the PCM on the list. So reset the security ID here. It says operation successful. It says to turn the ignition off and then back on again. Exit from this menu. At this point, I've got an interesting dilemma here. It is a push button start, and it will start without the foot on the brake. So let's go verify the diagnostic strategy. Or solenoid body strategy and ID. It is the correct ID and strategy, so we can move on to other things here. Let's get on to service functions, and we're going to do relearn vehicle data. This is the tire size, the VIN, stuff like that. So we're just going to hit the tick mark here and let it run through a test. This is a newer function, something that hasn't had been happening on, I think, like 11 or 12 this started. You end up with this P160A or something like that. Configuration not complete. Key off. Now, like I said, this starts without the brake pedal pushed, and it's kind of a real pain in the butt trying to do some of these key on, key off jobs. So I did go check for codes. I didn't pull it up on the screen here. I did go pull some codes, and the ABS module has a not configured code. So we're going to run as built data on the ABS module here. And we're going to go to www.motorcraftservice.com. You will need the VIN when you get here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull the two pages onto one screen here. Going to minimize the one, or mid-size it, whatever you want to call it. Once I find the ABS down here, way down towards the bottom. I know there's several ways to do this. You can install the file, and supposedly it'll work, and I've had limited success with that. So this is just the way I prefer to do it. Everybody's got their own preference way of doing it. Doesn't take that long to type these, so I just prefer to do it this way. And I know it's good to go then when I'm done. So it's just 5 lines of information. Typically it'll tell you that it's wrong if you type something wrong. I'm sure you could type it wrong that it would think it was right, but I don't know what the combination of the letters is, so I guess if you have trouble reading and writing at the same time, then it could be a challenge. But you can always print these and then just type them separately. You can attempt to install that file like they say. It's not really the end of the world. There's several ways to do it. Let's just turn the key on here. Again, this is a little bit of a challenge because this vehicle wants to start as soon as I touch the button. And then as soon as I get it on, it wants it off again. About to drive me crazy. And then it wants it right back on again. A little bit of a touch sequence with the button trying to get it to not start. We don't want the engine started. We just want the key on. And then it wants it right back off again. And then it does say the module configuration is complete. And at this point, it does require the brake pedal to be depressed for it to start. Not real sure what the ABS module's got to do with that. Maybe it uses a pressure valve or something. I did not look up the information on it to see why it would start without the brake being depressed. So the last thing we're going to do here is we're going to just check our codes here. Let's just clear all the codes out of this thing and see what we got left. Remember, it was jump started backwards, so don't be surprised if we got some codes left that aren't really related to why it won't start. We were only hired to program the PCM, and then we went back and requested some additional funds to do the ABS module configuration. So this has been a two-step process here, because that was above and beyond what we were hired to do. So it's going to read the codes. The IDS automatically clears them and then rereads them. So it goes out to all the modules again. The good news is that it does require the brake to be depressed for it to work now. So hopefully we'll be in good shape here. And there it is. It doesn't look like we have any codes in the whole car, except for our permanent turbocharger wastegate codes. So not our concern. That's not what we were hired to get into. So we're going to ignore those and we're going to move on. All right. If you want to see some more videos like this, subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell if you want to be notified as they're coming out. Visit our website, www.toolhutusa.com. We've got drivability diagnostics type equipment available. Thumbs up, thumbs down, questions, comments. I try to answer them all. Have a great day.